Hello, in this video I want to show you how build your own infrastructure. Now we are ready because we installed the Terraform CLI. The next step is going to the AWS Console and create our VM user. Let's write here AM, select the user, users. Now click on user creation. Let's put here my name, my username, okay, and select the programmatic access. Okay, now previously I created an administrator group. That's why I will select this. Click on next button. Let's wait for a moment. Yeah, we have our user ready. Let's take now my credentials and copy them into our terminal. Okay, now here in our terminal, let's try the command line AWS configure. Oh, sorry, no, I wrote config is configured. Now let's pick the key. And now let's go back to our console and pick our access key. Lastly, we need to put the region that we will use by default. In this case, we'll use Virginia region. And finally, the format. I will put JSON. Okay. Now we're ready to start writing our first block in Terraform. Okay, now let me create a new directory. Let's call Terraform course. And then I will create this file where we can start our new project for this course. Now I'm going to open the folder that we just created in my Visual Studio Code. This here in this folder, Terraform course, okay. And let me open the folder. Okay, let's click in our file and paste some default blocks. With this block, we have the complete configuration that you need to build your infrastructure with Terraform. In the first block is the Terraform block, required provider to provision the infrastructure. Okay, they will bring all the provider that we declare in this case AWS from the registry. And the second block is the provider block. Configure the specified provider. In this case, we use AWS, so we need to set the profile and the region. In the first block is the resource block. Is used to define the resources in the infrastructure. In this case, we are going to create a EC2 instance. Before continue with this, I want to explain you that here in the first line, the first word into between W code is called the resource type, and the second word in W code is the resource name. Together, this combination is the resource ID or the resource address. That is how Terraform save your resources into the Terraform state. Okay, that is how he will compare all the configuration between the resources in the cloud with the state in your local machine. That is important to identify any resource here. Okay, now we need to change the MEI ID, and because this is a example, so let's go to our AWS Console, and now we're going to EC2 service, and finally to the marketplace. Okay, I will select Ubuntu as a operating system, and I will put the AMI ID. Let's copy this and replace the code in the line 80. I will keep the instance type because actually it's not needed, but I will change the tab name. And let's open our terminal. Okay, I think we are ready to build our first infrastructure. To do that, we need to run the command line Terraform Init. This will download all the provider that we declare in the Terraform block to our local computer. Okay, and and it will create the Terraform state. Okay, done. Now we can see here in our left the Terraform state and the providers, plugins, API, etc. Now it's important run the command line Terraform plan. By running the plan, we will see how the resources will be created according to our template. Okay, you will see an output with all the arguments according to the template. Let's wait a few seconds and we will see the output. Here we go. Here is the component. As you can see here in the last line, we have the plan. We will add one resource, 0 for change and 0 for destroy. Now let's explore for a little bit this output. As you can see here in this line that I selecting, it's using the same name that we declared in our resource block. Okay, why? Because if you remember that I explained minutes ago, this is the resource ID or resource address used in the Terraform state. So that is why two resource type can use the same name. This is the ID. If I need create another EC2 instance, I can use app server. Okay. Now finally, we need to build our infrastructure. We need to run the command line Terraform apply. The apply will run the plan again. Will show you the same output that we just saw in the plan. Okay, but now this will apply this. That's why I need to answer this question with the word yes, and Terraform will start creating our infrastructure. The build is done. Now we can go to the AWS Console to check how the instance, if the instance was built or not. Let's filter here by the name, and there is. We have our EC2 instance already created, has the status initializing, but actually it was already deployed by Terraform. That's it for this lesson.